Hello, dear all. Welcome to the press conference of the Swiss Textile Machinery Association. It is my pleasure to welcome you all and share with you some insight from our members with regard to digitalization. Just some brief information before we go into the presentations of our members. So the framework for today, just for you to know, we are recording this press conference and will later on share it on our YouTube channel. You will receive presentations and or press releases of our members who participate today, and we will share that with you via WeTransfer after today's press conference. And in addition, questions can be asked throughout the press conference via the Q&A function, and I ask you to please mention the company you wish to ask the question to. And we will then try to answer them either directly after the presentation one, and then in the end, we will have a Q&A session. So this is what you can see here on our agenda. This is my small introduction. And then we straight go into the company presentations from the 6 companies mentioned here. And as said, in the end, we'll have a Q&A session. The whole press conference should not take more than a maximum of 90 minutes. So just one brief word again about SwissMem and the Swiss Textile Machinery Association. I'm often asked also by the journalists, how is it now with SwissMem and Swiss Textile Machinery? So just briefly, SwissMem is the leading association in the Swiss technology sector with above 1,200 member companies. And within SwissMem, we have 24 industry sectors. And one of those 24 industry sectors is Swiss Textile Machinery. But it's not just any of those 24, it's actually the eldest that is there. It was founded in 1940, so we have already 82 years. We currently have 45 members in the Swiss Textile Machinery Association, and those 45 members, they have altogether more than 4,000 years of experience, 4,123. So, and just one small word about digitalization. You will, of course, hear much more from our members in a moment. But often I hear have a distinction of how you can classify digitalization. There are different ways, of course, but you can have your own internal process to be digitalized. You can have products and processes with customer interface to digitalize, or you can use digitalization and the data you generate with it for the development of totally new business models. And we'll see now from our members what they present to you. So I want to come right to our first presenter of today. It's Michelle Salk. She's a product manager fabric inspection at Uster Technologies. And I'll hand over right to Michelle. Thank you.
All right, so let's start straight ahead. I'm very pleased to be here, to be invited, and I'm pleased to explain you how Uster Technologies is applying artificial intelligence in fabric inspection products. My name is Michelle Salk, and as Cornelia already introduced myself, I am the product manager of fabric inspection systems at Uster Technologies. Uster Technologies is the world's leading supplier of quality testing solutions across the textile supply chain from fiber to fabric. And our mission is to serve the industry as an innovation pioneer and to drive change forward. Besides the technical innovation, we also take our social responsibility very seriously, since innovation always brings change for the society that we live in. Quality is the foundation of everything that we do. So if you think Uster, think quality. Uster is well known for its quality testing instruments and sensors in textiles. And since the 80s, Uster has also worked on enabling the digitalization of the textile supply chain. Some of our solutions are well established and have even been acknowledged over many years as industrial benchmarks for quality. You may have heard of Uster Statistics or Uster Quality Expert most recently. Let me explain how Uster is going to take the next leap in digitalization, taking as an example the fabric manufacturing segment of the textile value chain. During the fabric manufacturing process, Uster fabric inspection products are applied to automatically inspect the fabric quality during either intermediate or final inspection. Selecting the right sensor for the application is the first challenge that our customers need to overcome. Next, these sensors create a huge amount of data that usually would be processed by a human operator by reviewing the results and assigning defect labels to the captured defect images. I don't think I have to tell you that human beings have their cognitive limitations when it comes to processing hundreds or even thousands of data items. Our customers ask for need-based solutions, so the willingness to accept one-fits-all standard solutions is reducing. And the varying challenges of daily business in the daily life of our customers require solutions that can adapt to different problems. User requirements grow as the technology evolves, even in our private lives, and the cost of technology is decreasing, while digital enablers like cloud technology or machine learning evolve quickly. All these challenges are entangled very closely with each other, with mutual reinforcements and dependencies. Our broad textile expertise, in combination with the advanced technology of machine learning and artificial intelligence, Uster builds a tailored solution for our customers to overcome this limitation of human capabilities when processing masses of data. And this is what we call automatic defect classification. Let's go a little bit deeper into what automatic defect classification does. Our sensors, as I already said, capture images of irregularities and defects in the fabric that is inspected with the Uster fabric inspection products. These images are then provided as one complete data set. Traditionally, a human operator manually reviewed this data set, assigning labels or so-called codes to some representative sample images because it's simply impossible to check every single data item in short time. This results in an incompletely labeled set of data, which is then used to decide about quality grade, further processing, or even sales price or discounts. So these decisions have an impact on the business success of our customers, and we are convinced that they should not be taken based on incomplete information. Instead, with our solution using a neural network to assign the correct label to each defect image, we can close the gap and eliminate these blind spots. Customers can be sure that their business decisions are based on the complete quality profile from the beginning to the end of each produced fabric roll, automatically classified just within a few seconds. Now, this sounds pretty much like magic, right? Let us look at the overall benefits of the solution. As already noted, the business decisions, for example, about further processing or delivery, will be taken on the basis of the complete information without these insecurities of having blind spots regarding the produced product quality. The solution will enhance the utilization of the captured data to a maximum, since every captured data will be considered. It will help to initiate root cause analysis and process improvements that can really have an impact on product quality. The performance of the artificial intelligence is what scientists call superhuman, which means it's always consistent and it's not affected by the performance variation that I'm sure all of us experienced after a stressful day or not having slept enough last night. Especially in the past 2 years, when AI applications in machine vision have become more accessible and affordable for the industry, we can see a lot of AI startup companies claiming that they have the right solution for automatically classified images. Anyway, what makes Uster so different from these companies is the fact that we do not only provide the AI solution, but we cover the full portfolio from the sensors that gather the data up to the data systems and the AI solution, which is built to be seamlessly integrated into our products. Our expertise allows us to provide to our customers a solution that meets the specific need of every customer and integrate it into their production process. Besides that, when providing cutting-edge technology, education and training is almost as important as the product itself. Our textile experts speak the language of our customers, and we provide extensive training and consulting, so our customers will grow with the new technology and feel confident and comfortable with it. During all industrial revolutions in the past centuries, whenever there was a major shift in technology, there was always the question raised if this new technology will replace human workforce. And today also this question is valid. As I said in the beginning, Uster not only aims to be innovative, but also always takes the social responsibility of being a pioneer. We are aware that technologies like artificial intelligence will have an impact on the future way of working in the textile industry. However, we must keep in mind that artificial intelligence is not magic, despite it may look like in science fiction movies. It may be good in optimizing, it may be good in reproducing, but it cannot be creative or solve complex problems, even with social aspects. So during our customer training and consulting, we encourage them to rethink also their traditional job models that they have today. Human beings have their cognitive and physical limitations, which can be compensated by technology. But technology will only be a supplement, not a substitute for the human operator. So while repetitive or routine tasks can be handed over to artificial intelligence, there's a huge opportunity to enhance especially social and creative tasks that are ideal for human beings. For example, problem solving or also leadership skills. So Uster does not only shift the state-of-the-art technology, we also want to shift the way of working in the future, with always having our core value in mind. Think quality.
Thank you, Michelle, for your presentation. And I just want to remind everyone that you can also ask questions through the chat throughout the press conference, and we will then take care of them towards the end of our event. Then I would directly hand over to our second speaker of today, André Imhoff. André is the CEO of both Autefa Solutions Switzerland and Austria. André, please.
Thank you very much, Cornelia, and a warm welcome to everyone. Exceed expectation is where satisfaction ends and loyalty starts. And customer loyalty, I think this is the highest aim we are looking for, and this is what we want to have. Autefa solutions, most of you known to you. We have 6 locations worldwide. We have a team of greatly motivated 380 people. We make around 100 million Swiss francs of turnovers, and all these locations consist of different brands. Some of them even 100 and more years old. At Autefa Solutions, we do have these different kind of business areas. Probably most known to you is non-wovens. So we make complete non-woven lines, starting from the fiber to the final product, such as car insulation, car carpets, products for diapers, wipes, artificial leather, etc. We also make baling units. Complete balers include wrappers, strippers, and logistics systems. Another unit is our oldest one, by the way, is for woolen and worsted cards. There we are probably the only one left in the world who deliver complete systems for this kind of business. What a lot of people don't know is we are also in the business of automation. We have complete bottle handling, bottle stacking system, palletizer, and depalletizer. And last but not least, we do also make mask machines. I know you all hate them, we love them from the business point of view, and we were the first one who imported this kind of machines to Europe. Looking into digitalization. The #1 aim of every company is to make profit, right? And there are 2 options to do that. A, you either reduce our operational costs, or B, you increase the income by providing more value to customers. Let's talk about reducing cost internally, because for both, you can use digitalization. #1 on the left, you see the digital twin. The digital twin was implemented the first time in 2020, and this allows us to set up a complete line, not just a machine or a function, a complete line virtually. This line can be moved, including the material, and we can also install the real software into this virtual twin. So this gives us the great advantage of testing the software, of simulating the process, providing training to the customer, and of course, eliminate any possible mistakes before the physical machine gets installed at the customer side. This is reducing commissioning time and the resources required on site a lot. #2, TalkTon. TalkTon is a software which allows us to reduce the design and production time. Also the example of balings, you maybe think a bale, oh, it always looks the same. Yes, but the baling size is different, height, density, etc. And to make a baling press box, we need about 250 drawings to make it. And now if a customer comes to us, we put in the fiber properties, the density, and all these kind of parameters, and look, the software within minutes will give us all the 250 drawings, the bill of material, and we can start the design immediately and reduce also delivery times. Great tool. Then we have here the purple one on the left, Lean Cost. Lean Cost is a software which we just implemented last year. It's a part of our SolidWorks computer-aided design system, and it allows the designer to identify the cost of his design while he does the engineering and the design. So you imagine you design a part and the system will give you directly the cost. So you can make a decision. Should I really grind it? Should I maybe use plastic injection molding instead? And all this decision helps again to reduce cost. CFD, this is the blue one here. This is allowing us to simulate airflows. Autefa Solutions is also in the business of dryers. of thermobonding unit, which means we need a lot of hot air. We need to manage this hot air. So it's energy consuming. Hot air needs to be constant and uniform. So with this simulation, we can design our nozzles in our oven before they're actually going to be produced. Also reducing the design time and the cost of production dramatically. On the next one, you see an example of a digital twin. This is our double Baler uniform system with an external wrapping. So you see all the mechanical parts are moving. You even see the bale. You have a physical simulation. If there would be any collisions or anything like that, you would see it immediately. We can test our real software already on the system. Here you see how it looks in the real world. That was the first time we did it, and it's a great success. And it helps also later on when it comes to service and troubleshooting, because we basically have a digital twin in-house where we can make some trials, buy new software, upgrades, etc. Let's talk about the digital products we can provide to the customer. Most important is, if you want to make profit with digital products for your customer, you need to provide solutions to problems. You need to understand what the customers really need. And what we did is, we wanted to give, this is an example of one of the products, it's called a QR code. And what we do, everyone has a mobile phone, right? So if the operator has a problem on the machine, he takes his phone, goes to the area where there is a problem and there is a QR code. He can take a picture, and on his phone, he immediately has an access to a cloud. In this cloud, he can download video tutorials. So it's a YouTube tutorials, how you string in, how you replace that parts. You see drawings, manuals, schematics, PIDs, or if you simply want to order spare parts, you also get a list of spare parts. Very convenient, make things more efficient and more easier for the operators and the maintenance staff. Here you see an example on this video. Mobile phone, QR code, immediately you have an access to the database. 3D design, you see the drawings, you can access the different functions, you have manuals, so you don't need to pull up a paper manuals, you have PID, electroschematics data, you can access spare part catalogs, and you can immediately order your spare parts from there. This is an example of a YouTube video, how you string in a strap. And especially the new generation has grown up with this kind of tutorial, and we also found out it's very well received. Let's talk about our Service 4.0. It was actually an initiative from the Swiss men when we looked into possibility of how new products can enhance the customer experience. And one of them was Service 4.0. So now we offer within this Service 4.0 product different kind of solutions. And I would like to share with you some of these. One of them is the 24/7 service contract. Is that new? No, it's not. But it's maybe new that it really works. Autefa have locations in China, in the US, in Europe. We always have someone who is awake. And if not, he's going to get up and he takes your call. And no matter if you call Sunday morning, 3 o'clock, you will have an engineer on the line, not an answering service. They access your machine, maybe through the digital twin, and they will help to solve you the problem. Along with this 24/7 contract comes this cool glass. This glass actually is going to be the eyes and ears for our service people. So there is a camera integrated, there is a speaker, so I can explain on the machine, look, this and this, I have a problem. And the service guy can put up a YouTube tutorial into the head-up display or some diagrams or whatever. So keeping this glass on, you don't need a computer. You have a very small device. You can go to the machine and solve problem quite efficiently. On the green part, consignment stock, let's call this a minibar. What we do is, customer always hesitate to buy spare parts, but once the part is missing, oh, it has to come quickly, it has to come overnight, air transport, etc. So what we do when we sell a complete line, we have a container or a box with most of the parts we think are used, spare and wear parts. The customer can go in, he can take a part out, he can scan it, and we can decide if it's a part within the warranty, so we're going to replace it free of charge, or we charge him. He can use this minibar, let's call it this way, for the first year. If he doesn't like, we take it back. But most of the customer having it so far, they're going to keep this. Last but not least, we have iWeb. Is the blue side on the corner, and this is what Michelle from Uster already mentioned, the superhuman. The iWeb is a product also based on artificial intelligence to control complete lines. At the moment, weather is different, moisture is different, fiber looks different, etc. The operator is adjusting here and there, and to maintain quality. But the goal is to have, we call it a green push button feeling. So you and me, we could push a button and the line is running, it's doing its job, it's all self-regulating, including preventive maintenance, etc. Is this already fully realized? No, it's not. We are doing the first steps successfully, but I'm sure on the ITMA we can show much more when it comes to iWeb. Last but not least, digitalization is leading to success, and digitalization together with success is creating loyal customers, and together with loyal customers and success, we're going to have fun even sometimes on this picture. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Andre. Very enthusiastic presentation. Thanks a lot. I will just go right into the third presentation and take the questions later. Our third speaker for today is Rudy from Espritech, actually one of the latest members of our association, but yet very active in everything we do, so much appreciated. Philip is the CFO and salesperson of Espritech, and he'll bring you into the world of folding machines. Philip.
Thank you so much, Cornelia, for your introduction and for having me presenting in the middle of the DNA of Swiss Textile Machinery. I'm trying to be as equally worthy, to be transparent, and to give specific information about our folding machines. I called my speech Digital Folding, but actually I will be talking more about automation performed by a digital machine, which can be run either autonomously or which can be physically or data-wise connected with other machines or IT systems. Our folders are mechatronic devices orchestrated by a back-off industrial computer. They use smart mechanics, electric motors, linear motors, many sensors, and even pneumatics. All our machines fold to measure, which is what sets us apart from flip-flop or cascade folders as you find them for other applications. Such devices are arguably cheaper, but performance and folding precision are not comparable to our machines. I show some results as folded by our folding machines. As you can see, we offer many folding patterns and can fold the full range from apparel, towels, fitted and flat sheets, duvet covers, curtains, blankets, even non-permeable materials, and many other flat textile products. We can make sets, show borders, align motifs, create staples or rolls. Our machines work in the second part of textile finishing, where most production worldwide, even today, is still manual, and most of it is done in countries which have the advantage of low-cost labor. So our machines go into the heart of textile manufacturing. It is the area where automation and capital investments are still at an early stage. It is the area which has remained by far the most labor intensive. I believe it is the most critical area where textile producers still hesitate to find innovative solutions and to change their setup. But maybe we should start wondering why. Because it is also the area where the most dramatic changes in textile production are expected to happen. It is the area where we still have the biggest saving potential, and consequently, it is also the area where the next textile revolution is expected to happen. Let's dive a bit into the process. I'm talking of cutting, sewing, folding, and packing. That is where most of the manual work still happens. As we all know, the big factories employ a huge number of staff in these departments. I tried to show the labor intensity in a graph at the bottom. While most producers have overcapacity in their earlier processes, they still have bottlenecks in the made-up departments. It is also not so easy, I fully understand. Quite a few companies have invested in modern cutting equipment. For some, mostly standard or institutional products, it is possible to employ sewing automation. But sewing is likely to remain the most complex production step and probably the hottest bottleneck. And we feel that there remains a big potential for textile folding and packing machines. I see very basically two levels of untapped efficiency improvements in textile manufacturing. One is to try to eliminate manual work by a machine for whatever process. That is how we have sold most of our machines so far. Speaking of folding, producers can expect to replace about 15 manual folders by 2 staff members in front of an Espritech digital folder. That is per shift. So in a 3-shift operation, 45 manual folders can be replaced by 6 folders in front of the machine per day. And that, of course, gives a business case. The next level would be to see this as a chance to integrate production fully or maybe more partially. In our case, the revolution is not so much the use of these machines. This is nothing new. We do that quite some time and we have a large installed base. What is newer is to use automation to improve the flow within the 4 processes and to eliminate at least folding as a bottleneck. The focus should shift from optimizing each step individually to optimizing the entire made-up process as a whole. It extremely helps if you can focus on only one bottleneck, and you may also shift some of the folders to sewing to ease the pressure there, or even to increase or to better balance the capacities. Here I have an example. One recent Espritech customer in a high-cost country has streamlined his production, creating one process from fabric stocks to packing as part of an Industry 4.0 initiative. This covers finished fabric stocks to cutting, to sewing, to folding, to packing. No matter for large or small batches, he knows, plans, and manages the capacity required for each step to manufacture his entire production portfolio. Planning avoids bottlenecks, and the stocks of semi-finished products between the steps are minimal or even eliminated. Once the process starts, it also gets finished. Folding is done by a versatile Espritech standalone machine that folds the various products reliably to exact measures. The machine requires no mechanical setup time between the batches. So finally, let me talk about financials. Of course, the cash out for the investment is the critical argument, and some customers want to eat the banana from both ends. We wish we could play along with that. But if you look at it closely, for a textile producer with a long-term focus, there is a package of attractive financial results, but also non-financial benefits like better and more consistent folding quality. Our machines require a certain complexity to achieve exactly that, which unfortunately has its price. The first result is that functioning automation can reduce the production cost almost down to manual level of today's low-cost countries, and that anywhere in the world. So that is the reason why this high-pitched world revolution might not be totally misplaced here. The reason why most manufacturing was shifted to low-cost countries is, of course, the availability of cheap labor. But there is little doubt that automation will drive more uniform production costs globally, also leading to new business models in the old world. The low-cost countries can only keep a substantial advantage if they also use automation. Furthermore, it is likely that the traditional labor-intense approach will become more costly and more complex due to expected salary rises, regulations, corona, etc. Headlines are full of inflation, higher sourcing and logistic costs, and it seems very real to assume that overall the production cost will go up considerably. Might automation even be required to remain competitive? What do the financials tell us? I would like to share some results and key figures from our calculations. The three cases relate to bed sheet folding using a machine as you see on top left. I'm showing two low-cost cases, left and middle. The first one is based on 2 shifts of 10 hours and a 3-shift case, which even lower monthly salary payout. The third one is located in a high-price country, producing in 1 shift only. The result is, no matter if in a high or low-cost country, the cost per fold can be reduced by at least 50% through automation. Is that something that any producer can afford to miss in the long run? The only condition is to have enough volume. About 4,000 items per shift or per day are needed to decently load at least 1 folding machine. We do have customers which are happy with lower volume in the high quality sector. Folding machines work best for the most complex folding tasks. If automated cost per fold are always cheaper, that also means that the return on investment will always be positive. As you can see, I quote it to be 35% in the worst case. Breathe again, 35% return on investment in average per year over the 10-year lifetime of a folding machine. I think as a producer of home textiles who can more or less depend on an average load of his factory, there is little financial risk and an investment case that is much better than Bitcoin or the Dow Jones. We have learned that the payback time is extremely important for the decision makers. But bear in mind, it is based on a comparison, as it uses the savings created by the new approach to pay back the investment. Therefore, payback will logically tend to be longer in a low-cost country and shorter in a country with higher labor cost. In fact, it will be ultra short in the US or the EU, especially if they have the volume. In general, we expect payback to be between 2 and 3 years. Some of our customers, especially in low-cost countries, press for paybacks around 2 years. As you can see in the middle column, it is possible to achieve that, but it requires an optimal setup at our customer side and a mindset that really drives automation. But above all, and I would like to end my presentation with this remark, financials are one thing, but to have undisturbed and smooth production and improving product quality is even more important. Nothing is worse than automation that does not work. We advise not to gamble with the machinery in the heart of the process. That is why Espritech does not compromise on quality of its machines. We feel and commit that we better make our job right. As you can see, we can stand on our machines. That is not just a fun factor, but we need our machines to be so sturdy because of the high torques that enable them to push the folding efficiency to the limits. I hope I could bring over some of my enthusiasm about our wonderful machines and some beef on the bone in terms of information depth. We rely on you, dear journalists, to make it further known to the world that there is this opportunity in the heart of textile production. If you need any support from our side, discussions, material, something you want to know more in detail, please contact me at any time. Our contact data will be sent to you together with the short presentation. Thank you so much. Good luck to you all. Please stay safe and healthy. I head back to Cornelia.
Thank you, Philip, for this presentation on the folding machines. And I will straight continue to our next speaker from Rieter, Sylvain van Groeningen. He is the Vice President Automation and Digital with Rieter and working for Rieter since 2016. Please.
Thank you, Cornelia. Warm welcome from my side. As Cornelia mentioned, my name is Sylvain van Groeningen. I'm heading the Department of Automation and Digital at Rieter. That means we take care of all the products in the area of automation and digital that we offer to our customers. And I'm very happy to give you a short insight into our thoughts about what we think is the relevance of digitization and also digitalization in the spinning industry. When we have a look at two mega trends, global mega trends, we ask ourselves, why is the digital transformation so important for the spinning industry? And of course, we have the general global digitization trend, where we bring experience from our private life into the business life. And of course, also in the spinning industry, this trend is promoted by a generation shift where the sons and daughters are taking over the management positions of the spinning industries. And what we clearly see is that there is the need for quick access to the relevant information, and there as at the same time as precise as possible, as detailed as possible, but also as concise as possible. So this need for transparency is very much given, and that's an opportunity for the digital technology. But I would say the second and the more important trend is the labor market challenges in the spinning industry. Of course, these are a bit different from one country to another or from one region to another. But overall, we see that there's a challenge to find operators and reliable and quality conscious personnel. And this leads to a situation of increasing wages. This results then in a situation where the spinners are faced with high fluctuation. And we see that as an opportunity to help our customers with digital technology. How are we doing this? Well, for once, we can help them to give a bit more easy access to know-how, to information about how to run a spinning mill. That means if knowledge is lost and know-how is lost because of the fluctuation, the customers have always this point of reference where they can look for further information and make sure that this know-how is preserved within the company. So that is one, the access to know-how. And the second one is, of course, that with the digital technology, we can help the customers to run the spinning mill in a more efficient way. That means the need for personnel is a little bit less than without the digital technology. So also here we can help to mitigate this risk of the labor market challenges. How does our solution look like then? Our solution that we offer our customers is called Essential. We offer this in a modular way, and I would like to quickly explain to you how we can help with this system according to just what I've just said before. So we offer it in a modular way to make sure that for all our customers on the different digital maturity levels that they have a solution that is matching the needs. And this starts at the very simple access to the operating manuals, to key knowledge, to key information. For example, when we publish a new special print where we share our insights about, for example, recycling, how to produce recycled yarns, then this is, of course, knowledge that we would like to share with our customers. So in this basic know-how is then available to the customers. When we go then to the next step where we would like to help our customers to run the mill more efficiently, we have features inbuilt where we, for example, have the whole plant maintenance intervals in the application. That means it's at the same time access to the know-how of how to maintain the machine, but also it helps them to properly conduct this plant maintenance. There is a calendar task list and the tasks are assigned to the responsible person. So also here then we bring the bridge from access to know-how to run the mill more efficiently. In the next step, we do not only trigger a threshold and indicate the customer that there is an issue on a machine or there is a task to be done on a machine, but also we recommend the action. So what needs to be done? And here then again, it helps the customer to increase his efficiency. And in a last and further step, we have also inbuilt some analytical feature. As you know, in the spinning industry and in the spinning mill, the process is quite complex. So there are dependencies within the process. If an issue is found on the end spinning machine, it might be that the root cause is happening somewhere in the preparatory area. And this complex process overarching analytical skill is also one critical skill that is more and more missed in the spinning mill industry. And that's how we would like to help the customer as well, so that we can provide simple analytical features to the customer to help with that. And when we have a look at where are we going to in this digital transformation process, this is exactly the point where we are focusing on. When we have a look at the past 5 to 10 years, the focus is very much on looking at a single machine, looking at a single piece of equipment and trying to optimize this single piece of equipment to the maximum. The trend is clearly going there where we want to build in this process overarching intelligence. Means we want to build an intelligent system where the customer can really have his digital technologist, his digital expert in the spinning mill. And of course, going one step further, if we have a look at the labor market challenges, then the automation solutions become crucial as well. As you can still see, there's a lot of manual transport between the machines required still today. And of course, to develop automation solutions that guide these cans or containers from one machine to another in an automated way, there needs to be an intelligent system that helps them to guide it in the right way so that the right material is at the right place in the right time. And this is the trend that we see, and this is also what we are working on. all over. I think it's clear that with the digital transformation, we can help our customers to get the maximum out of their equipment so that they can be more successful. That's it from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you as well. I would head over right to our next presentation from Jakob Müller Group. The speaker today is Juan Carlos German, and he has an impressive 40 years already with the Jakob Müller Group, starting from his apprenticeship and going through all kinds of functions, today being the product manager for labels and CAD systems.
Welcome in the name of the Jakob Müller Group. I would like to dive into the fascination world of narrow textile with you and show you how the Jakob Müller Group intends to implement the digital transformation in the area of product innovation and solution in the future. Who is the Jakob Müller Group? We are the technology leader in the field of narrow textile, the leading supplier for system and solutions, and we cover the entire spectrum from the thread to the end product. The Jakob Müller Group is a one-stop shopping in the field of narrow textiles. Digitalization runs through the entire value-added process, from the logistics to the end consumer. The Jakob Müller Group covers a large part of smart production and makes a major contribution to making the process chain even more efficient and sustainable. Within the company, there are some digitalizations projects, but I will focus on the topics of customer portal and smart textiles. I would like to start with our customer portal, My Müller, as we offer it out to our customers today. My Müller is our customer portal, which offers different options like access to operation instructions or machine spare part catalog, access to our help desk support with a ticket overview and status display, ordering of parts with information of availability and price from the web shop, activities in the factory outlet with the possibility to buy used machines, and activities of sales promotion. Another feature of our customer portal is MyCAD. MyCAD is a pattern creation and programming software. It can be used for label weaving machines and ribbon weaving machines, and it includes a binding simulation. All electronic machine parameters like speed, weft density, or thread feed controlled by electronic drives are programmable. A third product is the software product MyMyNet, which is an operation data acquisition system that brings the weaving room to the customer screen. It includes a dashboard for the graphical visualization of machine data, an order management with the possibility to send orders directly to the machines, and an overview of all orders with product duration and remaining product time. A pattern editor to create and correct simple patterns, a library management to store patterns, weaving files, and machine article cards, an OPC UA interface to transmit machine data into ERP or MIS systems. MyMyNet can be expanded with additional features at any time. What will the future customer portal of Jakob Müller look like? Focused on customer needs, we will build a new customer portal with one access with the following features: courses and knowledge about topics like operation or maintenance, care and maintenance like condition monitor or predictive maintenance, a web shop for spare parts, license, courses, and others, several documentations like catalog operation, manuals, or drawings, help and contacts for inquiries or sale, and the admin area from addresses, contact, machine cards, and logins to updates. The new customer portal contains many different tiles, varying from already existing platforms in green, but also new platforms with information content like the planned dates, where customers are able to see when technician visits are planned to their country's region. The customer is then able to ask for a technician visit and can therefore share the technician travel costs with other customers. Textile tools with templates like article cards, machine viewing protocols for electronic and mechanical machine settings, and warping feed plans for the placement of the warp beams. Digitalization does not only refer to software solutions. It also applies the end product in the field of smart textiles. For this constantly growing market, the Jakob Müller Group is providing specific machine technology for processing. The NDW technology combines the traditional weaving with a new flexible weft line device. With the new technology, smart textiles can be woven in single process. Textile fabrics with pressure sensor woven with a conductive yarn. Textile pocket calculators, RFID label used for the data transmission of information, heating pads integrated in shoe soles or in working jackets, and a shoe sole with pressure sensors to measure the foot position. Smart textile with the MDW technology can also be used for other functions, for example, in the field of force management, force measurements like load belts. Then we have the humidity and heave point measurements with display. For energy storage, like jackets with smartphone charging stations, or temperature measurements with display. Other possible functions of smart textile with the MDW technology are to weave solar foils or LED electronic components or foils, or foils with electronic components such as LED lamp into a textile fabric in one single process. So these are the ideas and projects of the Jakob Müller Group into a more digitalized future. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. German. And now we are coming already to the last presentation of this morning's press conference. But then, of course, afterwards, we still have the Q&A and you still have the chance to put in all your questions into the chat function. But for now, I head over to Pia Terraza from Saurer. She takes care of marketing and market intelligence at Saurer Spinning Solutions. Pia, please.
I wanted to talk about digitalization as an integral part, as an important part of a portfolio of a solution provider. Now, Selvin already mentioned a lot of the problems that our customers face, and also Michelle mentioned about the new working place, and I will come to these same issues in a while. I would just skip introducing the Saurer Group in a large way, because after seeing who is participating, you all know us, you also know me, and one of the things that I still would like to mention is our vision is to be a leading intelligent, sustainable industrial solutions and services provider. Now, this being a solutions provider, this is something that we have been on a journey on, from coming from a machinery supplier and coming now to a solution provider. It has been taking the last few years, but it is visible in the whole development and also in our digital journey. One thing that I would like to mention also is that every day from morning until late evening, all of us are surrounded by Saurer. Whether it's getting out of bed, putting on your nice wool suit, your mobile phone which has glass fibers inside, or your tires that has tire cord inside, we are everywhere and we are all day long with you. Now, what I would like to talk about now is the general issue of digitalization in the portfolio. I have a lot more details for anybody who would like to know afterwards. Just give me a hoot and we can discuss this in more details. Now, we started the digitalization journey more than a decade ago. First, of course, inside the machinery and automation, this is building the base for a new intelligent mill. We have seen with our customers that labor costs are rising, and the availability of labor is not even in Asia, it's becoming a problem these days. So we have possibility through automation and intelligent mill management to support our customers to actually run their mills efficiently. Now, people usually talk about digitalization. It often comes down to software and the web, but it has a lot of more components. Of course, mill management system that monitors the production is one of the essential parts. But after sales support is also a very important part of the digitalization of a mill. In the last 2 years, during the pandemic, travel restrictions, there has been an enormous boost in all these opportunities that we have in after sales to participate in a digital world. But I would like to start with the machines. As mentioned, the machines are a basis for our digital mills, and Saurer started the journey over a decade ago when we introduced AutoCoro 8 in around 10 years ago. Digi-piecing and digi-winding were a new feature, and ever since they have been conquering the world. In 2019 in Barcelona, we introduced the Optispeed, which is a new thing in the ring spinning machine. Optispeed, in combination with the individual spindle monitoring device, controls the speed of the ring spinning machine automatically. You set targets, a certain amount of yarn breaks, and the spinning machine is automatically kept at the speed of production, which is continuous and which doesn't exceed the number of yarn breaks. especially when we talk about the so-called lights out mill, where our customers express the wish to have a night shift without, or well, not entirely without personnel, but with minimum personnel. This is a very important function. And obviously also there's a lot of heavy lifting being done. There's a lot of transportation being done throughout a spinning mill. And the latest intelligent additions to our portfolio are the robot AGVs. The one you see here is one in a twisting mill, which is moving the heavy packages from the twisting machine into a weaving machine, or just from the warehouse into the twisting machine itself. The AGVs will play a big role in the future in the digitalization and automation of the mill, because a lot of manual work is being done in moving products back and forth in the mill, and this can be done more efficiently, and this will also go towards a better workplace, like Michelle mentioned at the beginning. Now, at the heart of the digital mill, there's of course a mill management system. In case of Saurer, this is called Senses, and it follows the Saurer solution provider vision. Saurer thinks it's important that the mill can add all third-party machines as well in the system, so you have one complete view of the mill. First of all, a mill management system monitors data. It collects all data and monitors the data, and then it participates in active process management. For instance, Senses has an off-standard function that is launched after every shift, where all the off-standard positions are stated here. You can see this in the central list here, and this ensures the spinning mill to be able to easily and quickly check out why is this position not running as it should. This has a great influence on production efficiency. The Senses is built in a modular way. We have a basic Senses system, and it can be extended by so-called elements. We have several different elements. We have elements for workforce, for shop floor, for maintenance. And for instance, the maintenance element digitalizes and structurizes the whole maintenance process. The shop floor optimizes the way the operators are moving inside the shop floor. And these elements can be expanded. The Senses can be expanded with these elements, and these are customizable so that everybody can manage basically the kind of system that they really need. There's no sense in having a very high-end digital solution and 80% of it's not used. So we believe that it's reasonable to cater to customer needs. And last but not least, along our digital journey, we have the after sales. Now, Saurer was one of the front runners in web shop development with Secos. Secos, as well as Senses, both are more than a decade old as well. Today, having a e-shop is something of a normal thing. In Saurer, we have developed the Secos to becoming something more than just a e-shop. It is a knowledge base. It offers all of your machine documentation. It supports you. We have a function where you can find your spare part easily based on a picture. And it just concentrates all of the knowledge you have for your machine. I talked about the development that we have during the 2 years of the pandemic travel restrictions. And Saurer Academy, the web-based training center that we have, is something that has developed tremendously during this time. It is possible to book trainings online. You can have in-person trainings. We have ready-made trainings. They're all different kinds of levels depending on your needs. And this is a very, very time and cost-efficient way to turn customers' employees into experts. And especially when people can't travel that much, it has been a tremendous support to our customers. And last but not least, I would also like to mention our remote service. It's the fastest way to get help. And this is something that has been on our agenda a long time already. We have been working with this a long time already. But until the recent 2 years where people couldn't travel that much, there was also a kind of hesitation from our customers. But now, having seen the advantages of remote service, I think this is something very important that will continue to follow the development of the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Pia. So I would say, as we also had some questions in the chat, I would start, and I think we have the time for one question per participant, and I just start with Espritech for the time being. So one question is, how does Espritech see itself for the next 5 years? And I would add, do you think that you will develop more in high-cost countries or in low-cost countries in the next years? You explained a bit on the payback, but where do you see the market for the time being for your machines?
I always say we have the spirit of a startup and the credibility of a small established OEM. So I think we have to follow the market as it goes. And at this point, I mean, the cost per fold are tremendously different in the old world and the low-cost countries. This is not so easy to backshore things to the old world. But if it is to be done, it needs automation. So actually, we see a growing demand in the old world, and we also have delivered more machines recently in the old world than in the low-cost countries. But this creates competition, and so I think the low-cost countries will also catch up, and they will also make more additional use of automation in the future. So that's where we see the market is going. We have innovation is always a topic. Almost every machine gets a new component or some new idea. It never stops, and we will follow the market.
Okay, thank you. Then I would go to Autefa Solutions, Andre. So you said about profit. You said profit is not all, but profit is what we are for. So how can Autefa earn money with the different digitalization projects that you have?
Thank you, Cornelia. I think it's important that you recognize the problems the customer has and that you provide a solution which works. Digitalization simply has to make life easier. It has to make things more efficient or quicker. And if you focus on that, you provide a value, and this value is going to be paid. What is also important for all of us is that we should not be afraid to put the price tag behind those services. Whether we give a support online through a VR glass or if we're physically there, we have to charge all these hours, and the market is also accepting that. And I think we continue that, provide more value, and sending out also more bills.
Okay, thank you, Andre. Then I would have one question for Uster Technologies. you talked about artificial intelligence, and I was wondering if artificial intelligence, will this change the skills of a human operator, the skills that he needs to have now with the developments that you have?
For sure. I think the skills that the future operator working together with AI needs to have is that he needs to understand what is his job and what is the AI's job. It will be less repetitive on his side of the job, less repeating, more problem-oriented or solution-oriented, problem-solving, but much less repeating tasks than today. So the job profile and the skill profile definitely will change. That's also what we try to explain to the customers today already that are using the artificial intelligence already in their production, how they have to train or we train the operator in how he should use the product to get the maximum out of it.
Okay, thank you. Then I would have one question to Rieter now. And the question would be, how do you see the return on investment in case of spinning units moving with digitalization?
That's a very good question. I think, of course, yes, there is a return on investment on digital products for the spinning mills. Here it depends, of course, on the different modules. So different modules that we offer have different return on investment. I think there are two challenges with that. One is that the different customers have a different level of maturity. So that means if you have already a good level of maintenance, of course, the impact of a digital solution for improving the maintenance will have a different impact than if you are unexperienced in that field. And this missing level of indexation is putting a challenge to just stating a standard return on investment. And the second challenge is that, of course, the digital products offer a certain benefit in terms of soft factors like peace of mind, like transparency, and there it is difficult to put the price on. What we can clearly see is that whenever we sell a new system, a new Rieter system or subsystem, that most of them all include a digital solution because they are not willing to live without it. And I think a further opportunity that we don't yet really explore with digital technology is the collaboration or the synergy potential with sustainability, because to be successful in sustainability, we need to have the transparency from the data, from the traceability, from information about energy consumption, and so on and so forth. And I think there's an additional return on investment that we can offer customers in that area.
Thank you. Then there leaves us with two questions, as we have two companies left. So I have a question for Jakob Müller from Mr. German. So the question was, how has your customer relation management improved or changed with implementing My Müller?
The goal of My Müller was to enable the customer at 24-hour access to the service of the Jakob Müller Group. One of the part of Jakob Müller Group is the service, worldwide service for the procurement of spare parts. So through My Müller, this becomes faster and more efficient, and therefore offers the customer an additional benefit. So the focus is digitalization. Focus of Jakob Müller Group is the customer benefit at the end.
Okay. So thank you. Then Pia, a last question for you. when I introduced the presentation, there was like the threefold of digitalization. One was internal processes, one was interface to the customer, and one was developing totally new business model. So for Saurer, how would you assess that? Where are your main projects currently? In what kind of digitalization when you look at it from kind of these three options?
That is a good question, because in my world, these three go hand in hand. Of course, everything we do aims at the customer interaction, but without digitalization in our own processes, for instance, we have in Fellbach 100% quality control automatically. We are already doing a lot of Industry 4.0, and so I think all of the three are very important parts of this, but I would say the customer connection is maybe the most important part that we will focus on, because this is the visible one.
I would say this was already kind of a good word to finish off this press conference. I would like to thank, first of all the media and journalists who took the time to listen to us today, and of course to the 6 speakers of our member associations. And I can just reiterate what Pia said. I'm hoping very much that we find options again to meet very soon in person and to exchange. And also, as said at the beginning, you will very soon receive an email from Sandra Amslo with a lot of links and information on the 6 companies, so you can happily use that information and distribute it via your media channels and let the world know on the digitalization power of the Swiss textile machinery companies. With this, I wish you a very good afternoon. Thank you all for being here, and for sure we'll stay in touch. Bye-bye.